celebration this week of Mardi Gras. Just thank God to be on the land of the living, amen. To be able to celebrate God. I have another series I want to start teaching. Starting with today. Today I'm going to do a quick overview, and then I'm going to go into more detail on each particular point for this month. But I want to really get you into it today, set a good foundation for what I want to talk about for a few Sundays. Amen? Amen. So this will be the series I'm going to use, Learning God's Language. I'm going to say that, Learning God's Language. Say it again. In other words, learn how to talk to God in His language. Amen. I got another, I always like clarity. So this is a point of clarity. Touch your body and say, God is not bilingual. He doesn't speak 2 or 3 languages. He speaks one language. You just got to learn what that language is. Amen. Well, tell the other person, they thinking God's speaking of. God is not bilingual. God is not bilingual. Trilingual. And the thing is, He only speaks one language. Amen. We just got to learn what that language is. We got to learn how to talk to God. Learn the language of God. And so that's where that series, come, and I'll give you a message for to differentiate each series that I teach on Sunday. But this is going to be right here, learning God's language. This is about communication and talking to God. Is that all right? All right. So let's move to some scriptures, open this up, and see how we're going to get to this. Exodus chapter 3, this is a familiar story, and it's a great story for talk about what I want to talk about. So let's pick up this story, Exodus chapter 3. And Moses led the flock to the back of the desert and came to Horeb, the mountain of God, also called Sinai. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire from the midst of a bush. So you see already what's going on. So he looked, and behold, the bush was burning with fire, but the bush was not consumed. Then Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush does not burn. So when the Lord saw that he turned aside and looked, God called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. He said, here I am. Then he said, do not draw near this place. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place where you stand is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the God of your father, God of Abraham, and it goes on to say Isaac, Jacob, and so forth, so you can finish reading the rest of the story. I want to stop right there because this is for us. I'll be able to want to get you into how this conversation started. This is a conversation going on that God has with Moses. I just want to get you into that story. So God says, I am the God of your father, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Here's where I want to open up and start talking to you. In that particular passage we just read, God used what I call an unexpected source. Say that, unexpected source. I'm going to say it again, unexpected source. That burning bush was something that you wouldn't expect. God didn't do something. I mean, he could have just called out from heaven, but yet he chose to speak through a bush, a burning bush, an unexpected source. Say it again, unexpected source. So God used this something unusual, this unexpected source to communicate with Moses. Now, multiple ways he could have done it. But he chose something that you would not expect. He chose something unusual. He chose something out of the ordinary. He chose something you just wouldn't see every day. He chose to speak and communicate through this item, this burning bush, this unexpected source. Got to get that right there. And I'm going to move from here because I'm going to start picking up the pace, moving, and I'll go into greater details coming up in a few weeks. This unexpected source, say that again, unexpected source, is also what we call an unprescribed method. Something out of the ordinary, something unusual. And why is that? Here it is right here. Because that's how God best get our undivided attention. Wow. God is talking to us every day, but we're not paying him attention. Amen. Amen. We don't hear him because we're not focused. Amen. God never stops talking. We're not listening. And so God often is going to use something to first get your attention so that you can hear what he's trying to tell you. And the problem is not that he's not talking, is that he doesn't have your undivided attention, so you're not listening. Lift your hand and say thank you. Thank you. So it's not that God can't communicate just like I'm communicating now. It's just that our minds wander, we drift, we tap out. But when something unusual happens, it automatically refocuses you and captures you and stops you. I want you to see the trouble that God goes through to get your attention. My God. A bush is on fire. If you read the story correctly, Moses first passes by. He pays it no attention. Because it's not unusual for a bush to be burning in a desert. But when he comes back by, it ought to be then burned up, consumed. And it's not. It's still the same way it was when he passed by earlier that day. So it draws his attention, focus him now, and he says, wow, let me go closer to see what's going on here, because this bush ought to be consumed. And it's in that engagement that God speaks. God has to use something unprescribed, unexpected, unusual to get your undivided attention. And I want you to see what length God went through to get Moses' attention. That undivided attention. Until God gets your undivided attention. Say it again, undivided attention. Undivided attention. You are not accessible, reachable, approachable, available, and the list goes on. You are not You just... So at the end of the day, the burning bush, this unexpected, unusual source, is how God was able to reach Moses and access his heart. It's how God connected, got his attention. Pow! I got your attention now.